Well, good morning, afternoon, or evening. You may delete as appropriate. My name is Chad Landman. Thank you so much for tuning in to Landman EDC. You know, there is near infinite choice today with flashlights. There are so many different varieties, so many different styles, so many different sizes that it can be hard to filter out. Well, I'm going to help you today filter some of those out, thin the pack, so to speak, to let you know about 5 amazing flashlights that we're going to talk about from 3 different companies today. Let's take a look. The LoopGear SK05 is power that is perfectly sized. You've got the halo styling here. This is a compact flashlight that can fit in your pocket, but it casts a 405 meter, 4,360 lumen beam. You've got a tiny locking mechanism that houses 2 4,000 milliamp 18650 batteries. They will charge via power delivery as well. So you've got a lot of runtime on a sleek kind of package here. 20-watt fast charging. You can actually use this and it doubles as a power bank if you would like to do that. This has got 7 modes with 8 vibrant colors on the RGB light here on the front, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But you can camp with this, you can signal with this if you need to, you can use these really bright LED lights on the front, and it is ready when you are. It has a magnetic tail as well as a quick swap battery design. You saw that before. It's a little big and a little bulky for everyday carry, but it will simply fit in a bag or fit in a pouch exactly how you need it to. It's waterproof and weatherproof. I was really happy that LoopGear sent this over, the SK05. Look what they've got. It's the helm here, and it's compact yet powerful flashlight. They've put this MAO, micro arc oxidation, in this title of it, and it's really kind of neat. This is the high performance version that I have here. And what I like about this light is it's got this nice click wheel. If you try to, it's in the locked position now. If you try to push the locked button, you'll see that I just get red lights there. And there is an LED bar here that will shine in those RGB colors. A lot like one of the Wubens. And I love when you switch modes, it gives you kind of a Knight Rider aesthetic here. And you can actually switch between those modes and it knows that you're switching between those. But you go here to the settings for the regular floodlight, and you got, of course, those high, medium, low settings, and then you switch to the other light, and it's more of a pinpoint. You see the hot spot right here in the center. It's more of a pinpoint with a very large kind of cone around the hot spot in the light. You don't see that in the other one. It's a very widespread floodlight. And then, of course, you've got the RGB here on the front, and again, what purpose this serves, I'm not really sure, other than to have a good party or makes things go faster, but you can actually cycle through the colors here. And again, looks like kit from Knight Rider. I kind of dig it. Put it on the red there. Red actually does help you with some night vision things, but other than the red, I'm not really sure what the purpose is, other than just be right here and look really cool, especially in the pattern that it strobes down in like this as well. And you can change that pattern if you want to, and you can turn it on and off with one click. Let me tell you about this light though. It is tough. This thing is very weighty, very heavy. You wouldn't want to carry this in a pocket, even though it's advertised as an EDC flashlight. One of the most important things about it though, USB-C charging there right on board. So all you need is a USB-C charger. And it will also output, acting as a battery. So if you need to, this actually doubles as a phone battery if you need it to. So the SK05, really, really neat. I got kind of the desert tan, and this is a matte finish. It's very nice and smooth. You can see the loop gear right there on the top and magnets on the bottom. Really dig this light. I dig the aesthetics of it. It's very heavy. It's a little pricey, but at the same time, they're running a sale, of course, right now, and you can check my link in the description for that. All right, July 8th through 11th, 2025, Wuben has a sale on certain flashlights. This is one of them. This is the new Wuben L3. This is really, really fantastic. You've got a dual tail switch with 2 steps on it. It's got a light setting and just a tap setting and then a push setting. Very cool, very nice and lightweight. It's only half a pound, which can sound like a lot, but when you compare it to other flashlights of this size, it's relatively lightweight. What I love here is the onboard USB-C charging. I love to see that. You know I love to see that. Don't have to fiddle around with any other batteries. This does have a rather large battery. I believe it's an 18650, and you just screw the cap off like this, and you've got a regular, no, it's a 21700 battery, so it's a pretty chunky 4800 milliamp hour battery. But the cool thing about it is it's got dual USB-C charging, so it can charge itself and this battery at 20 watts, which is pretty significant and quick compared to what some other flashlights do. But it can also act as an output. So if you've got a USB-C to USB-C, it will charge a device like a phone or something acting as a battery pack, just like the SK05. So a lot of manufacturers with the bigger lights are starting to catch on to that. So again, you wouldn't want to use this as your main battery, but at the same time, if it's something that you're in a pinch and you need, it would be really, really handy to have that. So you've got this screw on, kind of slide off and on part where the this washer where the USB-C thing is revealed. You screw that on, and it is completely IP68 waterproof. 1 hour at 6.5 feet underwater, this will still be able to work. And so very good waterproofing. That's got a stout belt clip on the top of it, pocket clip, and you can also reverse this if you would like to. And it's got a really cool styling here on the top. You've got a little bit of a protection right here, kind of almost like a crenulated bezel, but you don't have a crenulated bezel here. So you're not going to be able to use this as a weapon necessarily, but you could use this part if you needed to in a pinch. But I think that's more to protect the button itself. It's 5.6 inches long. It is a pretty sizable flashlight. You could EDC this, but I think this is excellent for somebody like in law enforcement or something like that. It's lightweight, it's got good colors, it's got good balance, and it's very bright. I didn't even tell you how bright it was. It goes up to 226 meters, but with a 3,000 lumen throw at those 226 meters. And it gives you 7 light modes: turbo, high, medium, low, moon, strobe, and SOS. And so you've got a lot of different light modes with this. I really like this light. It's very nice, and it's nice and big, but also it reminds me kind of those mag lights from back in the day. And it's got a really good kind of center. It does have a hot spot in the center right here, as you can see, but it gives you a good brightness rating here. And you do have that strobe as well if you need to use that for any type of defense or distraction as well. All right, now you guys know that I love my small flashlights, but almost even better is a small, long flashlight that I know will have a good battery life. This is a 650 high lumen output in the Wuben PL1. I love this little light. You've got 650 lumen, 150 lumen, 50, and 1 lumen from high to moon. It takes a very long, as you can see, 10880 battery here, 600 milliamp hours, and it charges via USB-C on the battery. Now, that's good for waterproofing, but bad because you have to take it out and charge it. But at least you don't have a proprietary charging connector. I love my Olight flashlights. There's going to be one we're going to talk about here that's got a proprietary charger to it as well. But I just do not want to have to carry another cable. Everything charges via USB-C. You don't want to hear me talk about this anymore. But having lights that charge just with USB-C, no adapters, no weird things going on, is fantastic. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can use 2 AAA batteries with this if you wanted to. And so you could stack up those 2 AAA batteries in here instead of just this one battery that we have in here right now. This is perfect for work or travel. It will fit in any pocket. This is absolutely could be part of your EDC. And I love the fact that it's just got that. It reminds me of like a Streamlight, the way it's designed. And you've got just a tap clip. You just tap it slowly. It doesn't give you an extra little piece of feedback like the L3 does. I love the switch on the L3, but you just lightly tap it and it will go through those light modes as well. This is also IP68 waterproof, again, with that USB-C port on the battery itself inside. So you do have to unscrew this to charge it. It's submersible up to 2 meters for 1 hour. And so again, same waterproofing resistance as the L3 over here. They're calling it aerospace grade aluminum that's here. It's resist corrosion, scratches, all sorts of different stuff, and impact. It's ideal for camping, hiking, maintenance work. This is the type of light that I would have loved to have working on airplanes in the Marines. I would have loved to have something compact, nice like this. It would have fit right here in my pocket that was on my flight suit that we wore sometimes. And so it would have been, this would have been the perfect flashlight for that. Again, it's a two-way clip on there. So you can actually put this on a hat right here if you want to, or just put it inside of your pocket. Really nice, really slim, really cool. Let me show you a quick size comparison here between the L3 and the PL1. So you've got, I mean, obviously there's a huge size difference here, but this one is going to be so nice and compact and lightweight. You're almost going to not even notice it's there. Make sure to go check out Wuben's sale on, I know that both of these lights are included as well as some of their other newer lights. They're running a 20% off sale. The link is below in the description to these products as well as some other products from Wuben during their Amazon Day sale, July 8th through 11th. All right, Powertac is one brand that I had not been familiar with, but they sent me the TAC FlexBeam. Now you can see that it's in this holster right here. This is a 1200 lumen, and it's a little difficult to get out of the thing, especially when you're holding it like that, but it's a little bit difficult. So this is a really cool, very large bezel flashlight here, but it's not, if you compare the size here, it's not all that much smaller than the L3. And compared to the SK05, of course, it's going to be wider, but it's also going to be a little bit more round because it's a cylindrical flashlight, not a flat one like the SK05. But this is a 1200 lumen max, 700 meter throw. Of course, the sheath is included. Now, I had to figure this out because you can put it in this way. You can do that, but it kind of rattles around, and it's not incredibly secure. So it's not supposed to go in that way. It is supposed to go in bezel first, and then it kind of goes in there like that. And that keeps it in there very nicely. This would be an excellent, it's got a pretty stout looking belt clip on it right there. And of course you could just do this without that belt clip. And it's got a pretty tiny belt clip right here on that. And I don't know how the big end is supposed to go down in unless you, I don't know how that's supposed to work. But overall, the light is actually very, very good. Now you've got a tail switch that gives you different brightness settings, but the mode switch actually lets you change between those. Now, what I love about this is that there is zero hotspot here. As you can see at one of the medium brightness settings, there is zero hotspot. It may not come across on camera very well, but this is a absolute floodlight. What you can do is you can make it a hotspot by zooming in if you want to. So you push this around and it gives you an incredibly pinpointed light right here. And it gives you very, very small light around it, but you've got a hotspot light. You can actually zoom in quite a bit. And I love the wide open look though, because this is a very, look at this. This is a very nice, let me put it on the maximum setting here. This is look at how big that is right there. That's incredible. There is a little bit of discoloration. There is a little bit of green tint in the light that I can see, but overall it's still pretty fantastic. So you've got a tail switch right here, and then you've got a mode switch right here. And I really love that. And then of course the zoom feature, and it will zoom quite a ways out to kind of extend itself a little bit longer there and get you a pinpointed light versus a very wide floodlight. Now, the thing I don't like about this is the proprietary little USB-C charging port here. Now, this makes it very good and waterproof, but at the same time, it's a magnetic cable that's USB-A, not even USB-C, that comes with this. Overall, like, this light is really fantastic, all except for this proprietary charging port. I don't get it. I do not understand using any kind of proprietary charging ports when the USB-C standard is out there. I feel like they could have built in and easily put this behind a plastic door, a lot like some other lights have done. But overall, the Powertac right here, the FlexBeam, as it's put, is an excellent flashlight. You've got a lot of choice. So I don't know if I would go with this because of that proprietary charging, because when your battery runs out of charge, you want to be able to charge it with anything that you have. And most of all, you're going to have a USB-C somewhere. And so you could not charge that without that cable. And if you lose that cable, you would have to charge it with that, and you'd have to bring that with you. So an overall great light, wonderful light. And I love the fact that it's got that wide flood. See the wide flood back here with that mode switch that feels really good, that wide flood behind you. I love that, but then it's kind of ruined by this. So this kind of is one of those lights that probably has to stay at home or stay at least in the car with the charging cable right next to it. All right, you guys know how I love small lights. This is the smallest of the bunch. This is the E3R Nova. And you'll notice this has similar styling to a couple of little smaller lights, but it comes in and it's got a really nice button. It's not a rubberized button. It's a hard anodized button here on the tail switch. And you have to double click to get different brightness settings, and you can hold. This little package gives you 820 lumens max. You've got an 86 meter throw, IPX8 water resistance, so not nearly as water resistant as some of them. But as far as I could tell, it's got a pretty simple UI. As far as I could tell, I could not get this open to replace the battery. However, if they would have done the same thing on the FlexBeam here with the charging as they did right here, look at this, USB-C charging on board. I can charge this light anytime I want. Now, I do worry about this light because that's what lithium-ion batteries do. They just wear down. Your phone battery gets less and less over time because you're using it every single day and wearing the charge down. And so I worry about that a little bit, especially with a small of a battery is going to be in here and it not being used or replaceable. However, it is convenient. The convenience factor for this one is going to make this one of my newest daily carries, the E3R Nova. Very nice small flashlight. I also kind of like what they've done with the clip lanyard right here. You've got a pocket clip, a reversible pocket clip as well for putting it on a hat, but you've also got a lanyard clip right here that you could weave a lanyard into. And I kind of like the fact that you can put this on a keychain and it kind of moves from side to side like that freely. And so you can have a dangling light like this and just have it either on a lanyard or a keychain. So I really like that. I really like some of the design decisions that they've made. And this is a really cool little light, and it's just very simple, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Give you the light when you need it, and it charges via USB-C. So very, very nice on that. All right, so what did you think about some of these lights? These are pretty fantastic choices, I would say, from the Wuben PL1 to the L3. And then, of course, you've got the SK05 with the gnarly lights on there. And then you've got really good FlexBeam flashlight, really good heavy duty, except for that charging, that proprietary charging, but also the Powertac E3R Nova right here. I think this is my new carry flashlight because it's so very small. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much to LoopGear, to Powertac, and to Wuben, longtime partner of the channel. Thank you so much for sending these items our way. If you didn't send these items, we wouldn't have a channel, and so we really appreciate it very much. Thank you all for the support. If you have any questions about God, about Jesus, about the Bible, about anything like that, if you have a prayer request, if you would like me to pray for you, I will do that. So put your comment down below. Comment on what one of these lights you would like to have. Comment on one of these lights and how ridiculous you think they are or how amazing you think they are. And let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week.